Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Today I want to show you how I cut a straight line in a deck and make it very simple and easy and also accurate. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Only 17% of you actually subscribe to this channel, so please hit it before you finish watching this video. We really appreciate it. All right, so as you can see here, we have a jagged edge of a deck that we just finished laying, and we need to trim it up and make it nice. Normally, I used to take a corded finish saw and I would chalk a line and I would just cut it to the best of my ability. Then I would go back with a long level, check it for straightness, and then I would belt sand it and check it for straightness and belt sand it and check it for straightness. And that's how I would get a nice straight cut on any deck that I had to cut. On this particular deck, I'm using a tool called a track saw. And basically, it's a 9-foot track. There's different lengths for different brands. You can get 5-footers, and then I actually have a 5-footer I cut down into a 3-footer and a 2-footer for shorter lengths. It makes a huge difference when you're needing to cut straight lines in decking. So basically, what I've done is I've identified where I need to chalk a line for a straight line on this deck. And I also have already pre-cut my first board up against the house because I'm not going to be able to get the track saw all the way to this trim. So I've already cut this one board to length. It's ready to go. And now the rest of my boards are ready to be cut. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chalk a line so that I can snap this line so I know exactly where I need to make my cut. Then I'll line the track saw up to that and then I'll make my cut. So basically all I got to do, get my chalk line in here, right on the edge of that board. Sometimes it's a little tricky. You might need somebody to come over and hold it for you. And then I have my pencil mark right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and snap this. All right. Now, before I make this cut, sometimes if your outside rim joist has any cup or bow or curve in it, you could be in trouble if you cut a straight line, if you're trying to cut close to the edge and the board's bowed like this. So I'm just going to go through here and make sure that my framing doesn't stick out past my cut line. And it's very close, but if I come over here, you can actually see that I'm going to leave a little bit extra on the outside of the deck. So that's good news. Okay, but we already double checked to make sure this is straight. But if you're new to this or you're doing your first deck, or maybe you've done a couple and you haven't ever checked, if you have a really bad bow in this and you screw all those boards off, you might consider cutting your end grains long so that when you trim it, you're not cutting into that joist, into the top of it, because when you go to trim it out, it's not going to look too good. Okay, so now that I have my track saw ready to go, I have my track right here. I'm going to line my track up on the chalk line like this. So basically, this black rubber, that's basically where the blade's gonna go, right next to this black rubber. Now you can see this track's old. I might need to replace the rubber eventually, but I kind of know where to put it. So I'm just gonna lay it in like that. That looks really good. And now I'm ready to run my saw. So I'm gonna put the saw in the track and I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting. Now obviously my track's not quite long enough. It's a 9-foot track, so it is pretty long, but I happen to have 10 feet to cut right here. So I'm gonna move my track. I usually don't, you can see right here, I've got a piece of rubber I need to glue back on. So I'm just gonna flip my track saw, or my track around, so I can have a nice flat surface that I can run all the way up to this board. I'm gonna line that back up. And line that up to there. So I have a nice clean cut. Then I'm gonna double check and make sure that I'm not misaligned, and I'm not. This blade's gonna go right into this space right here, which is perfect. Okay, I like that. I'm right where I wanna be over here. So I'm gonna finish my cut. All right, guys, so as you can see, this is one of those times where a specialty tool is really gonna make sense, especially if you do this for a living or you do it quite often. I just pull my track away now, and I have a nice straight line that's perfectly cut the way I wanted it to. So when I go to trim this out, it's gonna be a perfect fit, and it looks really nice, and it just makes my life a lot easier than having to take that belt sander out and try to straighten these lines out all the time. So if you do this professionally, or you want to make some really nice cuts on your outdoor project, maybe consider getting a track saw. I use this DeWalt one. I've used it for 10 years and I really like it. I used to have a corded one. Now I have the cordless version, the multi-volt. If you have any questions, drop them below and I'll answer them for you. If you like this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. And thanks for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.